Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa. Means it's time for another live stream, and because it's Monday, December 7th, 2020, that means it's time for a Monday mukbang. Today, I'm taking a look at a brand of granola bars, or I guess granola bars isn't the right word for it. Bars that I've had before. I've eaten them before, but I don't think I've eaten them at a Monday mukbang before. I don't think I've really talked about them too much on the channel, so I thought I'd give them a try. I bought a sample pack. There's a couple of flavors that I've had here before, a couple of flavors that I haven't. The brand is 88 Acres. I bought like a multi-pack on Amazon, and there's 5 different flavors in this box. I'm going to try them all. I'm not going to eat all 5 of these. I did the math on it. If I ate all these, that'd be 1,000 calories over the course of like 30 or 45 minutes. That's kind of a lot, even for me, so I'm not going to do that, but something I'll be testing out. They are nut-free, gluten-free, vegan, and no dairy or eggs, and there's no soy or sesame in these as well. So a lot of things that people with allergies might be affected by are not in this, and they're made in a dedicated bakery free of all those things: peanuts, tree nuts, gluten, dairy, egg, soy, and sesame. So that's why I wanted to take a look at these. This is a brand that my wife has been buying for a while. And so that's how I knew about it, because she scours the internet for snacks that are peanut safe, because we have a peanut allergy in our house. And this one is just all sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and flax seeds, and made by the seed company. So the company is the seed company. The bars are 88 Acres, and there's many flavors of them. So there's like 3 levels of branding on there. Or I guess 2 levels of branding and then flavors. But these are bars that I purchased with my own money, so no one sent them to me or is paying me to make this video or eat them on camera. I do that just because I like it. How are you guys doing today? First, I want to say hi to everyone listening in the podcast version. Hope you guys are having a good run today. And anyone else listening to this after the fact on YouTube, feel free to put comments down there below. I won't be able to get to them right away, but I usually tend to see comments in the live stream because there aren't that many. More often than I see comments on some of the other videos. So it's kind of a hack if you want to make sure you try to get my attention. Now let's see who's here today in the live. Let's see. We got Frank says, coming out of the gate with a shoe question, trying to keep us on task for today. Says, I need a shoe to do this workout. 15 miles of easy, steady, and 8 of them at marathon pace. The Boston, so is this a 23-mile workout or is this 15 miles total? Either way, 8 marathon miles is going to be a lot. Since the Boston 9s left me too beat up. The Nova Blast worked great. Can do it in Triumph, but not Speedy. So Endo Speeds or new Nova Blasts. I think the Nova Blast would be fantastic for this. I think that that'd be a great choice for that workout. I also do think that the Endorphin Speed would be fantastic for it as well. The workout that I did for that video today was 13 miles with 9 of those at marathon pace. So not gold marathon pace, but like if I were to run a marathon kind of like on my current level of fitness, that marathon pace. So that certainly worked. But I also think that, I mean, that's a long enough workout that I think that if you have a marathon racer as well, I don't think anyone would bat an eye if you were like, yeah, I got 8 marathon miles to do today in my 15-mile long run. Or if I'm reading that wrong, if that's a total of 23 miles, then for certain I would break out the racers for that one. And Carlos says, I'm confused. Can someone explain to me why the Endorphin Speed is so good? It's so good because that Power Run PB foam, it's really springy, cushioned, not too heavy, and it has just the right level of rigidity. The upper is super comfortable. I feel snug like I'm in a racing shoe, but my feet don't get beat up like I'm in a racing shoe. So it's kind of like one of those shoes that's like, you look at it and you're like, that looks cool, but how good can it be? And then you run in it and you're like, well, this is really good. What's going on here? So it makes me kind of like, I always do a double take when I think about it. We got Innes here says, hi, Kafuzian, everybody. Seems like you're inspiring the Kafuzians to make some good vlogs, Mike. David the other day, then Mark with a good vlog on his half marathon. Good stuff, guys. All right. Awesome. Because you know what? I love watching running YouTube videos. So like the more that's out there for me, the better. I realized the other day, because I've been noticing that I've been getting sucked into Instagram Reels too much. And so I made a point of it that I'm only going to watch running Instagram reels. And the other thing is, I'm going to try to only watch the running Instagram reels of people that are directly their accounts. I hate the aggregator accounts. I'm just not a fan of those. There's maybe like one or two that I'll kind of like follow on Instagram, but I don't like the ones that basically like will take other people's posts and then repost them and hope that attribution is enough to get away with like stealing their stuff. So I just don't like those. And I found that most of the reels that I was liking were from like account aggregators, like tag us to get featured on our account. I hate those. I detest those. So once I started doing that, I realized I was just flicking through them really quickly. And I was like, all right, see, I'm wasting time. I'm just looking at, as much as skiing Instagram reels are fun, I'd rather spend my time watching running ones. But at the same time, it's like, I'm enjoying it. There's no normative, like there's no value inherent more than one than the other, as long as I'm enjoying it. But I was like, I do kind of feel like I'm wasting my time sometimes. So if you guys can make more good running YouTube videos, that'd be great. I'm being very selfish here. Jana's here again today. Good to see you, Jana. Philip Byrne is here as well. Scotty B. I don't know about you, Scotty, where you are, but where'd it go? I was going to highlight it, Scotty B. But here, this morning, it was relatively warm for the run, but then it like never warmed up throughout the day. So now it's actually kind of like chilly. It's overcast. It's dreary. It feels very wintry today. So like, I'm like, this is a good day for, I hope all the neighbors turn on their lights early because it's just one of those gloomy days. But I have a feeling that no, this is the kind of area where they're like, oh, it's a gloomy day. Maybe we should turn on our lights early. I feel like we could use some Christmas cheer a little bit earlier in the day. And I think the most common response in the neighborhood would probably be, but it's not 5:30. You know, like I just feel like there's probably some sort of unspoken rule somewhere in the town of when the lights can be turned on. Yesterday, my in-laws were having a discussion on who does or doesn't have their Christmas lights on a timer. So when they see them early in the morning, are they getting up that early? Or do they just leave them on overnight and waste electricity? So there was a discussion about that. So, but today's a day that I could use some extra Christmas cheer, I think. I've been really, I think part of it is, I don't take you off here, Scotty, is I've just been, last couple of days, I've been really missing Chicago. I'm not homesick isn't the right word, because if I were to go home right now, you know, that's not what I want to do. I'm like feeling nostalgic, I guess, for the before times, you know. So I've been kind of down, I guess, a little bit. But I think part of that definitely is with the dreariness. It's been really cloudy the past couple of days. So yeah, I could use some more sunshine, I think. All right. Chris Yao says, Monday Mukbang musical accompaniment provided by David Bowie. Nothing has changed. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's funny. I love it. Liz Becerra says, yo, what's going on? And Mr. Random says, hello, family. Awesome. All right, let's dive into the first one. So I think the first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the first one with one that I've not had before. Well, I think I've had most of these. Let's go with the one that I think I haven't had with this one before. I'm not sure. Let's see. I think I haven't had this berry one before. I don't remember if I had this berry one. So the ingredients on this one, it's 88 acre seed blend, which is pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and ground flax seeds. And then most of these are from like 180 to 200 calories. This one has 9 grams of fat, 100 milligrams of salt, 23 carbs. Well, that's a lot. And 5 grams of protein. It's not that big of a bar. It's pretty small. It's about like the height of those like really frustrating Nutri-Grain ones. But like in terms of thickness, it's a lot thicker. So I'm just going to sample a little bit of it just to give you guys a sense of what they are. But it looks like there's some other berry seeds in here too. Whenever I'm trying to focus on something else, I have to cover my face because otherwise the camera picks up my face. But it looks pretty tasty. It smells nice. It smells like an autumn, like a cookie that someone would make for you in the autumn. It smells nice. This is good. I didn't think I was going to like this. This is really tasty. It's got that crinkly foil paper on the inside, which I hate that sound, but as far as the fruits go, there's cranberries with apple juice infused and organic Zante currants and blueberries. So those are the berries. That's tasty. I like this one. What I've been doing with this stuff when I eat part of it, like on camera, is I'll just save it, and that turns into my pre-run snack in the morning. So in the morning, I'm eating like leftover, not candy, but some of these treats. But that was pretty good. I like that one. That was a good way to start the mukbang for today. All right, let's see who else we got here. We got Christian here. Yeah, nice 10K run today, but very chilly. Ooh, all right. Stevie76. Awesome. Says, yo, what's going on? Lucas Luley, Jay Pelican. All right. We got Mark Chain Cocos here. Ryan Pauly, Bert Lagasse. Good to see you guys. Ed Chance finally made it back to the live stream. Are you going to air fry one of them? Probably not. I've been using the air fryer, and so far I've been using it to like make freezer fried foods and stuff, and that's pretty good. I've been enjoying that. And then I've also been reheating a lot of leftovers with it, and that I really like. It takes a little bit longer, but the quality is much better. Not that I don't love a microwave, but when I do have an extra couple of minutes, throwing it in the air fryer has been real nice. I think I need to cook some regular, just like cook food in it though. I'd like to roast some veggies in there, or I guess air fry some veggies in there, and just get some other stuff going. See how it does. Keeper says, I was way too happy looking at that thumbnail. Well, I'm pretty hungry today. I think I've not been taking in enough calories lately, which may also explain some of like my kind of down mood past couple of days. Those two things tend to go together. And I did eat a big snack even before this, but again, already I'm like really hungry. So pretty excited to just be eating these because I know I'm going to like several of them. So it's been, yeah, I'm excited. Ryan Polly says, eat them all, Co. I may. Jay Bellingham says, stack them and take a bite of all 5. All right, maybe. We'll see how we get. We'll see where we're at the end. That's really funny. Brent Aubrey's here, says, what up, Co? Good to see you, Brent. And Martha's here as well. And Martha says, I haven't tried the Nova Blast. I think we're going back to Frank's long run coming up. Says, I haven't tried the Nova Blast, but I've heard and read warnings that they are unstable. You're lucky they work so well for you, but I'm staying away for that reason. Speeds are a joy. I know Martha and I have pretty much very similar running shoe tastes this year. And, yeah, I do love the speeds. But, you know, the Nova Blasts, for some people, they're unstable. I thought that they would be unstable for me, but they ended up being, okay, ended up not being a big deal. I had to kind of like get over it, though, in the beginning. Like it concerned me at first. It's getting dark out here. I think I think with all that cloudiness, I'm trying to improve the image, but we'll see how we do. Let's see. Frank says, do people have issues with sesame? Some people do. So I don't think it's what's considered top 8. Or is it? I don't know. There's a group of allergens that are top 8. That are the most 8 allergens that are most likely to be lethal to a certain segment of the population. I don't know if sesame's in there, but like peanuts, tree nuts, shellfish, dairy, eggs, soy. Like, I think those are all top. I don't know. I don't remember. I only care about peanuts, really. But, and Kasaba says, what's in it if there's none of those? Yeah. Sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and flax. And then whatever other ingredients are in each of the bars. Yeah, Ricardo Katagiri's here again. Good to see you. Kasaba says, have you tried Picky Bars? I haven't, but I just put it in order yesterday for some new Monday Mukbang items. That is on the list. I've got a couple of other surprises too. One that Martha has been asking for, although I couldn't really find a lot of options. So I got what I could find. And then in terms of what Martha has been requesting for the Monday Mukbangs. And then, yeah, so we'll do that. And then I have another fun one, which I think I'll leave that as a surprise. All right, JC says, I'll be listening while driving. Don't make me stop this car. Awesome. Ben Weiss said, just saw 40 posted a review of the SL20 version 2. Yeah, I saw that. He's been getting really good at his thumbnails. His thumbnails are very pretty. The only thing that I would say, though, is like I never get like a sense of continuity from his thumbnails. So I'll see the thumbnail and be like, oh, whose is that? And I'm like, oh, 40. And just like, I can never like recognize a 40 thumbnail, but I mean, I think he's getting the views. He's been doing really well. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one I'm going to have is this cinnamon seed bar. Yeah, pretty much a lot of the same numbers. This one has 190 calories, similar, a little bit less carbs, probably because there's no fruit in it, and a little bit more protein. But we'll try this one. I think I've had this one before. I'm not sure. I'll have to see. I'm usually not a huge fan of cinnamon, but it just tastes like apples, maybe. It smells like cinnamon. Again, it just smells like cookies. It smells like cookies that you'd find at a coffee shop. It just tastes like a seed bar. This has oats in it as well. Yeah, it definitely tastes more like a granola bar, this one. So like, this one's good. I like this one a lot. I do think that if there were a fruit in there, it would make it even better. But that might be like a lot of ingredients then, because you got oatmeal, the cinnamon, and then fruit. But if there was some like dried apple in there, that'd be tasty. I just really like apple crumble. That's kind of one of my favorite desserts to eat. So that's what it is. But going back to 40's video, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But I'm debating whether or not to watch it. Because like, I know I'm going to get that shoe, but I think I'm going to wait a little bit. So then if I watch his video, then maybe that's not going to taint my opinion of the shoe too much. Corey Allen says, hi, everyone. Struggling with IT band and outside of right knee post-October marathon. Is that what you had, Co? I don't think that's what I had. There was something that I looked at that I forget where it was. It was not a video. It was a website. And I would look up something like IT band versus knee tendonitis. And it would say like, does it hurt? Is it tender to the touch? And that was like a big thing for IT band syndrome. And mine was never tender to the touch. I think like, does it feel hot was one of those symptoms too. And I never had that either. And there was another thing about like pain one way, depending on when you're going uphill or downhill. And they were like, if you have pain on one of the directions, it means it's more likely tendonitis. If you have pain going the other direction, it's more likely IT band. And so that's kind of like one of the things that I used to kind of like lead me down the two ways. Cause I think that's kind of like a big like fork in the road is figuring out that. But I did have it in the right knee and it was on the outside. Sometimes it felt like the pain was like underneath my kneecap and like poking out. So it was kind of like a weird, and it would move around a lot. Sometimes it was below the knee, sometimes it was above it. So it moved around a lot. But I thought maybe it would be IT band. But I also did end up massaging, I think, what is my IT band quite a bit. Because there were times where I noticed that it is tender. But I think that what's going on is just with my knee not feeling great. Other things were kind of overworking. And so that made things confusing in terms of like trying to figure out what was going on. But I mean, I could be wrong. I might have exactly had IT band syndrome, but I think I had tendonitis. Oh, and Frank's saying that thing is a 23-mile workout. Yeah, I would go with the endorphin speed for a 23-mile workout. Ooh, that's a big day. It's a really big day. Carlos has saying that he doesn't think that the SL20 is a version 2. See, here's why I think it is. I think it's a version 2 because the outsole is different. The outsole looks more like a Adizero Pro outsole. So it has kind of like it's kind of like I don't know how to explain it. It looks like a deer hoof underneath a little bit. And if you look at like the shielding that goes around like the heel cup, there was those plastic pieces that were on the side of the SL20, and then around the back, it was almost like there was a piece of like vinyl or pleather or something weird back there. That was like an unnecessarily thick material. That's gone. And so like the upper has changed. The midsole I'm thinking is the same, but it looks thicker to me. I haven't looked at the stack heights. And then the outsole looks different. So I don't know if they're going to, it might just be one of those things where they're also calling it SL20. And then next year we might get an SL21, you know? By the way, did we get a solar boost this year? I don't think we did. What happened to that? Did the Ultra Boost just subsume it? Because basically it's the Ultra Boost 19 upper put onto an Ultra Boost platform. I don't know. Mr. Random said, a rugby guy in the UK did 7 marathons in 7 days under 4 hours for fundraising. That's so amazing. That is amazing. Are you the rugby guy, Mr. Random? Because if you are, that's pretty cool. That's crazy. How much money did you raise? All right, let's get up here. Get to this. Chris, yeah. Let's see where is that one? Mike, I put on this Kofuzi / Path shirt and weird things happened. Awesome. Thanks for the super chat, Chris. Look, his picture's changed. It was a cat before, and now he's got a mustache and some glasses and a backwards hat. Awesome. Very funny, Chris. Thank you so much. I think you change your profile pic, your profile pic more than anyone else I know. I don't even know how to change my profile picture for like YouTube purposes. I'm not even sure where that would be. Awesome. All right. Simon Evans says, I dropped a raw fruit bar on the ground in the garden. Last I saw of it, the local squirrel was dragging it into the bushes. I feel like that's a good sign then, though. A lot of the snacks that I eat, I'll drop them and I'm like, oh, the dog will get it. He'll get a little treat. It's a little sugary for a dog to eat, but that's fine. He'll look at it and just be like, nope. And just turn his nose and stuff. And I'm like, do I want to eat something that a dog would turn up? I don't know. But he does love cauliflower, though. He'll always eat cauliflower when I drop it on the floor. I don't know. All right. James Baker says, given you have loads of shoes and running gear, what do you want Santa to bring you for Christmas? Apart from the obvious, like happiness and peace, etc. I wouldn't mind like a well-refrigerated vaccine. Like that'd be great. But by the way, CNN has been like reporting that like in the UK, they're like hours away from distributing the first doses. I'm pretty excited. I feel like that should have like a celebratory, like a wall of people like clapping as you're like coming out and you're like, I got the vaccine. Like it should be like that. Like when you buy a new iPhone, like I feel like that should happen. Although like maybe socially distanced still, but I mean, that's kind of amazing. That's what I want for Christmas. I won't get it for Christmas, but I don't, I'm not a big Christmas gift person anymore. I don't really make a list. I make a list because my mother-in-law insists that I make one. And so she buys me a lot of gifts. I don't want to like make it hard for her. So usually I put on stuff on there like snacks like that. If I like snacks, I'll have some snacks, stuff that I can consume. I like consumable gifts. Hand warmers is usually on there. Although this year I don't know if I'll ask for them because I got the electric gloves. So like, I probably still will. But things like that, socks, hoodies, those are the kinds of things that I know a hoodie's not consumable, but those are the kinds of things that I normally go through. I don't really, like my wife's like, what do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, I pretty much buy everything that I want. So I don't need anything. So like I don't need a gift. I like having like my wife and the girls made me a cake for my birthday and we sat around and ate cake. That was great. That's all I need. So yeah, I'm pretty boring to buy a gift for, I guess. Saul Martinez says, anyone here that can suggest a good training video or website to read on training for a half marathon? I think Seth James Moore is a fan. I don't know if you're familiar with him already, but is currently training for a half marathon. So lately he's been making some videos about what he's been doing. Now he's not a normal person. So like, I wouldn't go out and try to do exactly what he's doing, but he might be. I don't know if he's talked specifically about how he's structuring it. I know he's made videos about half marathon and marathon training before, but I don't know if he's talked specifically about this recently, because he's trying to do one in January, I think. Otherwise, I would look at Hal Higdon, HAL space HIGDON, or halhigdon.com. He's the one that I looked at for my first marathon training plans. And he does a lot of free content on the internet that you can check out. So those are usually places that I look to first. All right, Roadrunner Reviews here. What's going on? And let's see what else. Ben Y says they've changed the SL20 more than a difference between the Clifton 6 and 7, so I take it as a new iteration. Yeah, but you know what? Between the Clifton 6 and 7, they gave it a new name, the 6 versus the 7. You know, the SL20, they just are calling it the same thing, as if the first one like maybe didn't exist. I'm not sure. I wonder if like the new one is even cheaper to make. Maybe I just don't know. As I've said I basically say this once a day on this live stream. I don't know what Adidas is doing, but I don't mind because it's ending up with me getting like really good, fun, cheap shoes to run in from them. So yeah, Mark Chain Coco says I think the Solar Boost got stuck at 19. Yeah, and Roadrunner Review says the SL20 stack height looks higher to him as well. Yeah, doesn't it? Maybe it's just that yellow. Maybe it's just popping a little bit more, but it does look taller. Let's see. Patrick Funk says, seeing all these SL20 comments, is SL20 once again the word of the day? I don't know. I mean, everyone voted to switch it to Boston 9. Well, I guess I got to hit that thing because I said it. But if we want to switch it back, we can do that too. Let's see. Chris Dyke says, I've decided my next time trial is a 10K. Any tips from your recent run? I mean, I would really say start out slower. I know everyone says that, and it's the advice that everyone knows, but it's that advice that no one follows. But for me, I just felt like I really wish that I'd started out slower to feel like I wasn't so dead. I felt like I was dead, like not even halfway through. And so the rest, I was just kind of holding on. The other thing that I wish I would have done, I mean, I followed that stride training plan, and it was a very condensed plan. So I didn't have a lot of chance to run at kind of like threshold paces, and kind of get that feeling of like, I'm running hard, but I still have to do this for an extended period. Like I didn't have a lot of that experience, and I'm trying to kind of like correct that now with some of the workouts I've been doing lately. So like those are the two things I would say for training is look for some longer threshold sessions, and then even if they're repeats, and then also and the race itself, take it easy at the front, and then really kill it at the end. Corey Allen says, why do companies mess with shoes when you love the first iteration? I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. So Rincon loved that shoe last year. They almost didn't even touch it. In fact, I think they made it better this year. The upper is a little bit looser. It's much more comfortable, but it's still a really fast shoe. And it didn't even crack my top 5 this year. So, like, I mean, I guess that's why. But I mean, I guess with the Beacon 2, they did change the upper quite a bit, but the midsole, I think, even to version 3 is still pretty much the same, right? I think that Beacon 3 is coming. It might be here already. We got a bunch of packages today. I have to look for that. So sometimes they don't change it very much. But I don't know. I guess, and then the Epic React, they hardly did anything. People complained that it was so similar. Because they wanted something like fantastic for version 2. So I guess that's what it is. It's like when you hit lightning once, when lightning strikes once, you really want to do it again. I think that's what happens. I think people get kind of not greedy, but greedy, I guess. Dr. Funk 1216 says the best way to run is to go out too fast though and hang on to your leg. I guess, but for me, I think one of my issues is I need to work on the mental toughness part of it. So when I get to that point where I'm like, I'm dying, my mind just goes to like, yeah, you should probably just start walking. Just walk off. Just DNF, even if it's a time trial. So that's a thing that I have a hard time with. I need to like stall that guy and keep that like demon under wraps, I guess. That's my concern about going out too fast. But, you know, I guess that's what they say. Like, if you really want to break a, like, you know, for the people that are like trying to break world records, you don't do it by like, you know, going out slow and then negative splitting. I mean, I think most world records do negative split, but you start out hard, you know. Let's see. Blixton says endorphin shift versus Clifton. That'd be an interesting one. The endorphin shift, I mean, I felt like it was a really firm shoe, and people are raving about it, and I'm like, I didn't love it. But that's kind of like right at like the height of when my knee was like, "Ooh, this is a problem." Not when it was the worst, but when I was like, "This isn't something I can ignore." So maybe that I do need to revisit it for sure. But I don't know. And Blixton says, also, I think I got some demon from running in the Ride 13 today. I would say then probably stay away from the shift for a minute, you know, if the Ride 13 you think was bothering you. You know. All right. Stevie76 says, release the Kraken. I don't know. My Kraken always just drowns me every single time. I can't defeat it. That's something that I'm working on. I didn't think that long threshold sessions really help for me anyway to do that. All right. Roadrunner Reeves asks, which is better to start training? I've been working on aerobic dang near all year and really not felt much progress. Yesterday I did sprints for 3 hours and felt like I did something. Well, I mean, I would say that I would advise a lot of people to start with aerobic and just working on, you know, being out there for a regular amount of time for a long period of time. But, you know, if you don't feel like you're getting anywhere, but you are really enjoying doing sprints, then there's something to that too. I feel like there has to be some balance between what you're trying to do from like a mechanistically, you know, from like a strategy standpoint, but also like if you're miserable, you know, and this is something that I really only started coming around to once like everything changed this year. But if you're miserable running a certain way, try running a different way and see what happens, you know, because you can always like circle back and build on aerobic fitness again once you're starting to feel like good about running, you know. So that I'm not saying that it's necessarily wrong. I probably wouldn't pick it that way myself, but you know what you've been doing all year, you know, and you've been out there, and if that hasn't been like igniting, you know, a fire within you, then try something else. I think that's totally cool. Blixen says, choose a 2-shoe combo for all training and racing. That's a good one. I would say like a great 2-shoe combo would be like Clifton 7 and then the Endorphin Speed. Those two that you were talking about. Those are the two you were talking about, right? I mean, there were a couple. You threw out a couple, but that is a great 2-shoe combo. I think like Ride 13 and Hyperion Tempo would be a lot of fun as well. So I would go with like heavier or like more cushioned daily trainer and then speed shoe. And I would use the speed shoe for racing as well as some of your fast workouts. And then like the other shoe for like pretty much everything else. Like another way I think you could do it, if you want to do all Adidas, you could do like Ultra Boost 20 and SL 20. That would be a pretty interesting combo as well. Blixen says Boston 9 and Clifton. Yeah, see, we're on the same page. Here you go. All right. Boomdogs Madness says, checking in a little late. 10-mile run today. -10 weather in Wilson, Wyoming. Oh, that sounds very, very cold. Oh boy. Yeah. It got real cold here, relatively speaking. You know, relative to the calendar too. Like last week. And then like teens in single digits. And then this week it's been in like mid 20s. So it's been feeling nice out. So I've been feeling that's nice. I think if it goes back to like teens, I'll feel cold, and I'm not ready to even think about below zero yet. Fortunately here, if it does dip below zero for like when I'm running, it doesn't do that for very long. Not too many days in a row. All right, let's get to another bar here. I'm slowing down. We're gonna do this ginger one. This is one where sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And mainly it's because I don't always love ginger. I just find it's like a very sneaky flavor. Sometimes it's spicy, sometimes it's savory, but it usually always surprises me in a way that I don't like. This is lower calories. It's 180 calories. Yeah, pretty much similar to everything else. A little saltier than the other ones, 115 milligrams. But it's spiced ginger and apple. So they do have apple as a potential flavorant or ingredient in these. And it smells strongly of apple. But, oh God. As soon as you bite it, it's just like I ate like a piece of ginger. Oh, goodness. I don't like that. That's stronger. I feel like they changed the flavor. I ate a ginger one like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it wasn't like that. Ugh. It tastes like I'm eating medicine. Goodness, why did they do that? Ugh. Here's what I think ginger tastes like. I think that think about like an apothecary, like the old school. They've got a mortar and pestle, and they're mixing up their different concoctions and tinctures, whatever you want, and then they pour it out to make their, medicines. Whatever's left in the bottom of that mortar and pestle, that to me is what ginger tastes like. I just think it's gross. I don't like it. There's times where I'm like, oh, okay, this is nice. Typically, I detest it in Korean food. It's in Korean food all the time. I detest it. I like it in Indian food. Anywhere else, I also just don't. I don't like it. Gross. Yes, Sam Matas cleanse a palate with some wood ginger. Oh boy. Frank says, but gingerbread cookies. See, I don't taste ginger in gingerbread cookies. Yeah. Martha says, I like ginger too, but it depends on the context. Ginger and honey tea, for example, is nice. Yeah, see, I don't. If someone was like, here's a ginger and honey tea, I'm like, you mean, I'd be like, you put water and honey and like ginger and like tapped it in there? Like from like the ginger thing? I don't know. I would be like, if you're drinking it, I'll drink one, I guess. Ugh. I need to eat something else. All right. I saved the 2 ones that I think that I'll like the most. I can't remember which one of these that I've had. One of these is dark chocolate sea salt, and the other is double chocolate mocha. I think I've had the dark chocolate sea salt. So let's go with that one. This one is 200 calories, 6 grams protein, 22 grams carbs, 115 milligrams of salt. I still taste the ginger. It just feels like, I feel like, those smelling salts? I don't know what's in smelling salts, but if you wanted to wake me up from being passed out, just put ginger in there. Ginger and cinnamon. Oh, that would get me up. Doesn't smell like much. It's good. I think it could use more chocolate. The chocolate is a darker chocolate though, so it's nice. And it's dark chocolate sea salt. Maybe it's because I'm like washing out still some of that ginger bar. But I feel like I'm getting the chocolate at the end. I like it more at the front and just more salt all the way through. That's what I like. And Ben Browning says ginger beer. Yeah. Yeah, ginger. I like ginger ale. How is ginger ale different than ginger beer? I'm trying to think of if I've had a ginger. Is there a difference? I love ginger ale, but I don't think ginger ale tastes like ginger. When they made those ginger ale, what was it? Schweppes? No, which one? What was that company that makes the ginger ale? They made those commercials with like, now with more real ginger in it. I was like, that does not make me want to drink that drink anymore. And CV76 says, you're not a real Korean if I don't like ginger. Yeah, probably. But not just because I don't like ginger. I actually get that a lot. Whoops, dropping stuff all over the place here. I'm going to try to get this a little bit brighter. Yeah, it's dark. It's dark. Sorry. We're going to have to cut it short, I think, because I'm running out of light. Artemis says, I watched your video on how to wake up early for a run. I literally turned off my alarm and went back to sleep. That's funny. Hopefully you didn't sleep in too bad. All right. James Baker says salted caramel all day long. That is a good flavor. More things should come in that flavor. Jeff Play says, I recently picked up a box of corn pops and really enjoyed them. I don't think I've had that cereal in like 20 years. Corey Allen says, I love Jin's ginger chews and downed a bag yesterday during the Packers game. I've never heard of that. I mean, that makes sense because like I wouldn't want Jin's ginger chews. There's no reason why that would like register in my memory. And it says, yeah, you like ginger ale though? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't drink sodas anymore, but when I did, it would be what I would get on an airplane. And that would be pretty much the only time that I would get ginger ale was on an airplane. For some reason, like those two things, I think go really well together. I also, back when I was eating meat, I also really enjoyed lemon lime Gatorade. And also when I was like 20 years younger. Lemon lime Gatorade, Slim Jims on a road trip. That was also a winning combination for me. I don't know why those flavors kind of like ingrained, but they did. They're there. Ben Browning says, I need to drink water between tastings. Yeah, I got some coffee, but I don't think that's quite doing it for me. New Veteran says, tomato juice is good on an airplane too. I've never had tomato juice on an airplane. I assume that the only reason it was there is for people that wanted it with vodka. Do people just drink it as tomato juice? And Scott says, I only drink cranberry juice on an airplane. Interesting. All right, last one. Double chocolate mocha seed bar. This one's got coffee extract in it and organic cocoa powder, vanilla extract. Interesting. All right, pretty much the same stats as like the last one. Let's see. This one's darker. It's like the only one that has like an actual dark color or different color. All the other ones were pretty much the same color, but this one's really dark. This is the best one. This is really good. Tasty. I went through all 5. I don't think I could fit all these in my mouth though at once. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Plus, I don't want to eat that ginger one anymore. I don't know. They definitely changed the flavor on that because it's so gingery. Martha says, I drink tomato juice on planes. They have a separate mix for the Bloody Marys. Oh, I'm glad that you know that. Mark says, maybe we should have some wine as a chaser. That would be an interesting one. Ben Y says, I love extra strong Jamaican ginger beer. Is ginger ale carbonated? Yes, it is. And someone was saying that it probably don't taste it because it's very sugary. Yeah, Dr. Funk 1216 says, ginger ale probably doesn't taste like ginger because there's tons of sugar in it. Doubtful there's much ginger. I think you're right on both counts, which is probably why I like it so much. The Pace Pusher says, you ever going back to Chicago, missing the city at all? Yeah. I mean, at the top of the podcast today, I was just mentioning that I was really missing the city. I think part of that I mentioned it was because it's like dreary here, which may also be like, so like seasonally affected, but also I think I haven't been eating right the past couple of days. That always tends to, I'm very sensitive to mood and hunger. Like hangry is a word I don't really like, but beyond that, I just feel like overall my mood gets very affected by what I eat. I mean, mukbangs notwithstanding. But the other thing was that like, it's hunting season here now, and it's just crazy. So like, there's people with guns everywhere. I've never seen so many guns. Yeah, says the Chicago guy. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like it makes me realize even more how much I stick out. I think I don't really notice it as much because I'm either I'm outside running or I'm in here, with my family. So like I'm not really noticing how different I am than everyone else here as much. But like when it's like hunting season and everyone's like, "Oh, you don't have orange on," that's when it's kind of like, I didn't know that. So feeling a little bit weird this week. Dr. Funk 1216 says, "What does tomato juice taste like without the vodka hot sauce and the Worcestershire sauce?" Seriously, never had it without. There was a time where my wife bought a whole bunch of V8s for us to have, and I drank a couple, and I was like, could this be a good either pre or post workout drink? This is when like they were trying to like when like the dairy farmers were trying to sell milk as like a post drink protein shake. So at the same time, I was like, well, maybe tomato juice is a good one because it had like all these vegetables and potassium and salt in it. So I was like, well, this would be good. This would be good. I just never enjoyed it, so I didn't like it at all. Jeff Ellie says, my kids and I will go through a 2-liter Diet Canada Dry ginger ale a day. Canada Dry. That's the one that I like. That's the brand. That was my brand. Jeff Ellie says, I have had V8 Bold. I like it without the alcohol. You know what I love, though, from V8? I don't like V8 so much. But V8 makes a lot of fruit juice now, too. They make like a tropical juice, which I just absolutely love. And I gotta like whenever I buy it, you buy it in like the big tub, like the big container of it. I go through it like super fast. I'm like, oh, I gotta take it easy on this stuff. So I usually cut it with some water because I'm like, otherwise I'm just gonna be drinking like, I don't know, what is it, like a 2-liter size of fruit juice, and it's all sugar. But it's so delicious. I like things that are like, it's like mango pineapple. It's super tasty. Sam Matassa says, serious note, maybe holding a selfie stick running isn't a safe optic there. Yeah, I wonder though if some people are thinking that like, I don't think that people would ever confuse it for a rifle. Just because, I don't know, but I guess from far away, maybe it might. One time a lady on the Heritage Trail asked me if I was carrying a shovel before. And I was like, no, it's a camera on a selfie stick. She's like, really? Why? And I'm like, so I can put my camera on a selfie stick, so. Yeah, for the most part, cars and most of the farm equipment around here, I think is familiar with me now. So I think that I get very friendly waves on that kind of stuff. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just like times like now where there's hunters about that may or may not be from this area or local to this area. That makes me a little bit more concerned, even though I'm running on a road, a street. Like today on my run, I came across a pack. What are they called when there's a group of deer? 6 deer running across the street that I was running up from one giant farm field to another. And for whatever reason, they let me get very close to them. And that made me very nervous because I'm like, what if someone's watching these and waiting for them to cross the street to get to like the other property where they're been given permission to hunt? And what if they're over there and shoot, and I'm on the other side of where the deer? So it just made me like really like, I don't really like running in this kind of situation. Yeah, I don't think having the selfie stick is or isn't going to change that situation. Chris Yao says, a 6-pack of deer in Iowa, that is a target. Yeah, that's what I felt like I was a target out there. Yeah. A herd? Is it a herd? I'm not sure. Martha says pickle juice has lots of natural probiotics, so that's got something going for it aside from saltiness. I know some people drink pickle juice, and there's a product called pickle juice, which I don't know if it is actually just pickle juice. I'm assuming it's something else besides just pickle juice. But there's a product. It comes in little containers that look like like the 5-hour energy things. Have you seen that before? It's called pickle juice. I don't know what the flavor is. I've never tried it. Oren McGowan says, hi, just joined in. Awesome. Good to see you. And when they say pickle juice is great for hangovers. Is it because of the salt or is it the probiotics? Yeah. Chris Dyke says, there used to be a place in Vancouver that made Caesars or Bloody Marys. Is that what it's called in other parts of the world? It's not called Bloody Mary everywhere? With burgers and wings as the garnish on top. I think wings would be a fantastic one because I've liked them with like little blocks of blue cheese and stuff, or just like blocks of cheese. I mean, it got to the point where I was like, just give me a meal inside the cup, and I guess that's where this is going too with the burger, like a slider on there. I could go with that. Dr. Funk 1216 says, do you ever encounter other runners in your area? I did in the summertime, like maybe 3 times. Plenty of room to social distance out here. But yeah, there's a couple of runners in the area. And then one time I was with my girls, they were riding bikes, and then a lady was like walking, and we still kept very far apart. But she was like, are you the fellow that's been running around here? And I'm like, yes. She's like, where you been going? I'm like, well, I make a left and then another left and then another left right away. And then I'm back in by the post office. I'm like, I'm afraid I don't know the names of the streets here. And she's like, oh, how far is that? So I've had conversations with a handful of people. There's a lot of walkers in this area. So in the morning, I usually see, maybe every other day, I'll see someone outside walking. And when people are walking out here this time of year at night, like it's like nighttime, it's dark when I go out to walk. A lot of people do have like their, it's not necessarily blaze orange, but it's, they've got like high vis vest or something on, or a flashlight. So that's what other people are doing. But usually people that are walking that way in town. And I usually run that way outside of town in the farms. So I do encounter some people sometimes. The things that like tend to like worry me lately is like, because the hunters are all driving through with their with ATVs in the back of their trucks, and then they're getting on their ATVs, I think, at some point. I don't know. So I just don't know where they're going to be. And there's also a lot of people that have, I call them gators, but they're kind of like golf carts, but they're beefier than golf carts, but it's not a car or a truck. They usually have like suspension and they're gas powered. And they can go pretty fast, like 50 miles an hour. There's a lot of people in those. So you'll see like 3 or 4 dudes in those, or a truck pulling on one of those. And then again, I'm like, I don't know. Once they get out, I don't know where they're going to go. But one time when we were over in Guttenberg, people would just drive around in those all the time. I don't know why they don't drive in their cars, but they would just drive around in those. And one time one like turned around after it passed me, and that freaked me out. And I was like, what's going to happen now? This will be an interesting conversation. But he just turned around, and I guess he forgot something because he went the other way. But that made me a little bit nervous. But for the most part, the cars are really courteous. They give me plenty of space. I get lots of friendly waves, so it's never been an issue. But like when it's hunting season and everyone's like super excited, I think today's the 3rd day of the season, 3rd day of regular gun season. It was like Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So Monday. Today's Monday, so 3rd day. Yeah, so I guess some of the initial enthusiasm is gone, but my in-laws yesterday, I mentioned that they went out to go visit some, cemeteries to visit some of their family, and they were, I forget which cemetery they were in. It wasn't the Guttenberg one. Garnavillo? Maybe they were in Garnavillo, and they were like, we could hear gunshots the entire time we were there. So, it's nerve-wracking. The only time I've ever heard gunshots was out here. I don't think I've ever heard gunshots in Chicago. I probably have. Maybe just didn't realize that's what they were. But when you hear them out here, you know. Dr. Funk 1216 says, "You mean to tell me the locals do not recognize that there is a YouTube star that lives in their town?" Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that they do. Steve 76 says, "Hold your fire. It's just a feller pooping." Yeah, that'd be a terrifying way to go. Although I imagine if I accidentally got shot by a hunter's rifle, I would probably poop my pants. I just think that those two things would go together. Yeah, Jeff Elliott says, I live in a semi-rural area and I can hear gunshots on a regular basis. I think it's mostly people target shooting. I don't love it and my dog hates it. I think, when I hear it around here, I do think it's generally like people on their property target shooting. And I don't normally worry about it too bad. But when I know it's a season, then it makes me change level of kind of attention a little bit. All right. Or McGowan, the 5 running question says, "What's your 5K PB?" I think it's 1943, something like that, somewhere in that area. Yeah, Jana says, "That's nice that people driving give you space and friendly waves. People in cars here look like me like, what the hell are you doing at 7 a.m. on a Sunday when I do my long runs on the road?" I mean, I'm sure they think that too, but on some of these roads, like I know like the entire length of the road there'll be 3 houses, and so like if I see a car, I usually see the same car because I usually have the same schedule. Most people have the same schedule, so we'll see each other regularly. So I think that at this point I've kind of figured out that I'm a guy that's been around here, but I'm sure in the beginning I got a lot of that. One time I ran by a bunch of kids that were waiting for the bus in the morning. And I think they were like, what is that guy doing? They were really confused, I think. All right, let's grab a couple of these comments real quick, and then I gotta get going for today. Dr. Funk 1216 says, "Can your next Kofuzi merch shirt be a t-shirt that says 'I'm just here pooping'?" Maybe it'll just be a corn emoji. That's all it'll be. Ben Browning says, "Chicago have lots of illegal guns." That's my understanding. I'm not aware personally. I don't have personal knowledge of that, but gun violence is an issue for sure. And I presume that most of those weapons are not legal that are being used. Let's see. Emma Wilhelm says, "Alpha Fly vs. Speed was a great vidco." Thanks so much. I really liked that one. I know the intro was really long, and I thank everybody who watched all the way through it, like the 3 minutes of it, for humoring me. But I just felt like I got some good footage, and I was really happy with it. All right, let's do one more. Jonah says, "I once fell face down on the pavement in front of people waiting for the bus." Oh man, that's awesome. That's absolutely hilarious. One time I was getting footage over by the planetarium in Chicago, and there's a spot there. It's down by the water. It's along the lakefront, and if you put your camera in a certain spot, you can run by it, and you'll have water and then the city skyline behind you. And I was running through there to get the shot, and the moment I got like out of frame, I slipped and fell and slid for like 4 or 5 feet, and right to the side of me were like a whole bunch of like high school girls that were just like, I think they were skipping school for the day or something like that, and they just like laughed. They laughed for so long. They're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yep, I'm totally fine. Don't mind me. I'm just a dude Instagramming it up and falling on my face." So that's that. But I hope you weren't hurt too bad, Jenna, when you fell face down in the pavement. I can certainly empathize with that. All right. I'm going to leave it for today, guys. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Tomorrow, I'm going to do my last of my 5 massage gun video reviews. So that'll be up tomorrow. And then in the afternoon, we'll do Trivia Tuesday. We're going to do it Star Wars. I'm trying to make it so that even if you're not a huge Star Wars fan, you can maybe figure out a way to guess your way through it or guess your way to some really funny wrong answers. That'll be the goal. 3 p.m. Central Time, same place right here on YouTube. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. Be safe out there.